I live in British Columbia, and my family often hosted our home because we live on a lake. However, I always get roped into watching the kids, which means I don't get to enjoy my life when we have guests. My husband will drink beer with his brother and dad, and my mother-in-law and sister-in-law will go on winery visits. I end up at the house responsible for my nieces and nephews. So last weekend, I ensured I was under the influence when they showed up. My husband and his brother had to watch the kids because I was in no condition. Their mom is angry with me because she trusts me to make better choices. I told her my free time was valuable and I wasn't free childcare. My husband already had a few, so his brother had to stay sober. Oh, the poor baby. My husband thinks I should have tried talking to them again for the 50th time instead of getting trashed. They now know better than to ask me if I even want to watch the kids. I might be the idiot because I know that they count on me to be the responsible one who will ensure the kids don't drown. Not the idiot. And your hubby is the biggest idiot. He was just as happy with the previous scenario because he still got to drink and socialize while you were held hostage to the expectation of forced babysitting duties. He didn't even remain sober to help you watch his nieces and nephews. He had the same expectation as his family. He could drink and schmooze while you chased the kids. And isn't he such a great guy to bring a babysitter for the family? He got all the benefits and goodwill of doing the family a favor while you were stuck with the actual work of it. He should have stopped it from day one. And if he was the one who was stuck with the kids from the beginning, he would have. Bravo for your creative solution, OP. LOL, totally agree. Bravo. Chef's kiss. Oh no, Dad can't get drunk with the boys because you beat him to it. It's not fair. Wah. Stump stomp. Not the idiot, of course. Trusted you to make better choices? You did make the better choice. Ha ha ha. I don't understand why mother-in-law is calling you out for why she and sister-in-law get to leave. Why isn't she calling out her sons? You have a misogynistic mother-in-law problem and a husband problem if he hasn't stopped his family. Your husband should be going to bat for you and saying, "My wife is not free childcare." Everyone has to ask and see, not assume, if she can watch the kids. Further, you should go out with your friends and plan fun things for when brother-in-law comes over with his kids to hang out at your house. You deserve to enjoy your free time also. This is some strange in-law Cinderella game here. I find it weird that mother-in-law and sister-in-law travel to OP's place, except I assume free accommodation and meals are prepared in addition to the babysitting, and they never invite OP on their girl trip to the wineries. I know it's because then no one will be there to play babysitter, maid, and chef, but if it was my house, I would say no more hosting and no more favorites. They can pick. That's BS. You are the idiot. Are you 12? Why can't you communicate instead of being so petty? What will you do next time they visit? This is pretty pathetic. If you don't want to babysit, no is a full sentence. Your husband's an idiot, as he should be backing you on this. If they don't stop lumping you with the kids, they don't get to stay at your house anymore. Stop being a doormat. Learn how to communicate and set boundaries. I would stop hosting the family if I were in your shoes and reconsider your marriage ASAP because your husband has no respect for you. My boyfriend is a bit angry with me at the minute, and it's got me wondering if I was in the wrong. My boyfriend Josh, 22, and I, 22 female, booked ourselves to do a scuba course in Tanzania. We started it a few days ago. It involves going through scuba theory, where we were tested and passed, and the instructors brought us to the beach to give it a go today. I really enjoyed it. My boyfriend less so. We're both strong swimmers, so we decided to try it. However, once my boyfriend got under the water, he started to panic. He immediately surfaced, said he felt like a panic attack was coming on, and wanted to leave. He wanted to get out of the gear and sit on the beach to wait for us, but I gently persuaded him to give it another go because I knew he would regret it later if he didn't at least try and waste all the money he spent. He did give it another go, but struggled and sat on the beach, so the rest of us went back out and had a great time. I joined him after and explained how much fun it was and that we saw some fish. He was really happy for me, so I asked him again if he wanted to give it another go, and he just shut me down. He said that my asking before made him feel like he couldn't say no and like he didn't give it a proper go. I argued that he didn't. He didn't even make it out into the deeper water to put the things we learned to use. He maintains that he didn't want to have a panic attack in the deeper water and put us in danger, and it's not my place to say whether he tried properly or not because he thinks he did. Was I an idiot? I asked out of a good place because he looked so excited about the fish. I also don't think my asking him to try again was a big deal because he's done this with other similar adventure activities we've tried and constantly laments he regrets not fully committing to the activity. Edit. He's never had a panic attack under the water. He came up before he actually had one. That's why I gently asked him to dive again before he decided to sit out. You are the idiot, not for asking him to scuba dive again, but for later trying to argue that he didn't try hard enough. He's right. It's not your place to say. Your boyfriend did a sensible thing. His having a panic attack underwater could have put others in danger, not just himself. Also, I do get a small sense of you rubbing it in his face that you had a great time and he missed out. Who cares about fish anyway? I mean, taunting the boyfriend with the fish was icing on the cake of humiliation. I'm just as happy watching things from above the water surface. Your boyfriend almost had a panic attack underwater, and you asked him to do the thing that almost gave him the panic attack? How's this even a wise decision? You never force a person beyond their comfort zone unless you wish to create problems. Yep, it doesn't matter what other activities he regrets not fully committing to. We're talking about water, deep water. I had a panic attack while snorkeling on my honeymoon. My husband and our guide got me out of the water as fast as possible, and no one tried encouraging me to give it another go because the money would be wasted. People drown during a panic attack. He's not being dramatic. Scuba diving is a really dangerous activity. I, nearly adult male, live with my family in a 3-bedroom house. My parents have the master bedroom. My brother, 23, used to have the second largest room, and me being the youngest, had the small bedroom for most of my life. When my brother got married, he and his wife got their own place. They were renting and are now building their house, but that won't be ready till next year. So to save up for the construction, they temporarily moved back in. The thing is, I moved my things to the larger room that used to be his once he left home. There's more space for my stuff and I'm settled there. Now that he's back, he asked me to return to my old room. I said I wouldn't. He says I should understand they're 2 people and I'm only 1, so they need the extra space more than I do. And also, he had that room for years. I said tough luck. He even tried to get our parents involved since it's their house, but my father said he wouldn't get in the middle of this and that we should work things out between ourselves. My brother did get to my mother, however. She didn't ask me to vacate the room, but said I should be more understanding of my brother. My sister-in-law is also angry at me. She didn't say anything, but I can tell from how she acts. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. He moved out. He's not entitled to anything. He's getting a favor provided to him while his home is being built. He should just stay in a smaller room and be thankful. You live in this room, and they need it only for several months. They can live in small rooms since it's just temporary shelter. This cheeky beggar. He's not in the position to ask for such a concession when a massive concession has already been made for him. Stick to your guns, OP. If mom pressures you, ask why she didn't give up her room. The temporary element of it is really a key here. As a kid, the youngest, I finally inherited the better bedroom after my last sibling moved out. I was thrilled. A few months later, I was gone for a weekend, and we happened to have a foreign exchange student move in. Unbeknownst to me, my mom moved all my stuff out of my room back to my old one, so the exchange student could have mine. I was an angry 13-year-old for all the months the students lived with us. Mostly, I was upset because my mom didn't just ask me to do it before I left to go out of town. The room change was annoying, but worse was the feeling of my privacy being invaded since she went through all my stuff to move it. OP, just be careful not to engage when your brother or sister-in-law tries to get under your skin about it. I disagree. You are the idiot. You're being very short-sighted about how you will negatively impact your relationship 1, 2, or even 10 years from now. You basically indicated that your old room was barely big enough for you, and yet you expect it to be big enough for 2 dressers, a bed large enough for 2 adults to sleep in, and closet space for 2 people. Clearly, your old room isn't a valid option for your brother and his wife. There are consequences to what you're doing. Being nice leaves an impression. Being crappy leaves a much bigger impression that people rarely forget. Well, that goes both ways. The older brother is equally responsible for the future impacts on their relationship and is an actual adult. Expecting a teenager to graciously give you something that's theirs because you want it and feel entitled to it is not consistent with how teenagers work, or anyone really. My husband and I have a teen daughter together. Let's call her Maisie. He also has a nearly adult daughter with his ex. Let's call my stepdaughter Danielle. For some reason, Danielle hates Maisie. It's like she hates sharing her dad with anyone. She never accepted me or Maisie, even though I've been in her life since she was 1. My husband bought a car for Danielle when she turned 16. We asked her if she could take Maisie to school with her because their schools were closed, but she refused to. That's not a problem. The problem happened yesterday. Maisie walks to school every day. Yesterday, she sprained her ankle on her way back home. She saw Danielle driving by and waved for her to stop. Danielle stopped and asked her if she was hurt. She said yes. Danielle said okay and left. She left. Maisie had to walk back home like that. I was seeing red when I heard what happened. To be honest, I couldn't tolerate her behavior anymore, so I asked my husband to just send her to live with her mom for a while. This is not the first time she's done something like that, and I'm so tired of her. My husband, of course, thinks I'm an idiot for even suggesting that. So, am I? Let me recap. You want to get rid of a child because you don't like how she acts? This is a time for parenting, not banishment. Something's missing here. Kids rarely just have an inherent dislike for someone that supposedly raised them before they can even remember. Usually such dislike is influenced by how they're treated by the person or by things they find out about the person. For example, if you and her dad got together through having an affair, I could understand her dislike for you. Random possibilities aside, though, parents don't just get to send their kids away when they're having trouble with them. Have you tried everything, from suggesting therapy to trying to bond with her? You know what's missing. 3-year age difference between the girls. OP, how long after he dumped his ex did he meet you? Or was there an overlap? That would explain that for some reason BS. I'm sure Danielle feels like Maisie replaced her. I think that for 3 years, you acted like a mom towards Danielle. Still then, when Maisie was born, you completely ignored Danielle in favor of your real daughter. Has she had therapy? Jesus, you are the idiot, OP, because of what you did. I don't think you can fix it. Everyone's the idiot here is the way to go here. Your punishment doesn't fit the crime, and it makes you the idiot. Your stepdaughter is an idiot for pulling that stunt. She's nearly an adult. If this is the normal decision process for her, then she's going to be a drain on society and a terrible adult. It's best to learn now, but some people just need to go through stuff. Your husband is the biggest idiot. Your daughter's decision-making ability didn't arise in a vacuum. What she did was terrible, and your husband has allowed her to get to this point. Biomom not addressing Danielle's actions and attitude along with dad. The only one clean in this instance is your daughter, who sprained her ankle. And no, being 17 is no free pass for mistakes or bad decisions because of being a kid. That's an excuse. They're old enough to drive, which can kill people, and a year away from being an adult. They have the decision-making capability to choose colleges, find jobs, etc. Perfect time to learn the standards that go with decision-making. My wife, 28, and I, male 28, have been together for 3 years, married for nearly 1. Our first anniversary is in 2 months, and she's pregnant with our first baby, 10 weeks. Honestly, I was always very close to my family and friends, so I'm used to telling people I love them or being open with my feelings. It's not weird at all to me. My wife knows that, and that was something that she liked about me, being open to expressing my feelings. Up until now, it's never been an issue. However, her family wasn't as good at dealing with feelings, so they weren't as open to feelings. Well, it was my birthday 2 days ago. We did a very small family gathering with just our closest family and friends, since my wife is uncomfortable with the pregnancy. My sister-in-law, 24, came to my party. When she arrived at the house, she wished me a happy birthday and gave me a box with a gift. I thanked her and opened it. This was in front of everyone. We weren't hiding or anything. It was a book that I honestly loved and was looking forward to having for a long time. I had commented on this at family gatherings a couple of times. I obviously was very happy and excited to finally have it, so I hugged her. I said thanks again and told her I loved her. No one in my family was surprised. They didn't react at all, but her family did, and so did my wife. Even my sister-in-law was shocked. After that, things were a bit awkward. Like, I could tell my wife was angry over something, but didn't know exactly what. And my sister-in-law kept looking at me, and so did my in-laws. After everyone left, my wife exploded. She calls me an idiot for embarrassing her this way, in front of everyone. I was like, what? Because I honestly thought nothing of it. She told me it was because I told sister-in-law I loved her, and she's very embarrassed because of that. I told her she knew I was open with my feelings, and I was also very happy with the gift. Still, she reminded me of something we had discussed some time ago regarding her sister, and told me I shouldn't have said that to her because of that. We argued and she cried because she was hurt and embarrassed. I told her okay, and I apologized, but she was still angry. Was I really such an idiot because of this? Info. She reminded me of something we had discussed some time ago regarding her sister and told me because of that, I shouldn't have said that to her. What's in the box? I mean, what did you discuss? This seems extremely key to any decision here. Can you elaborate more? I didn't know this was going to be such an important detail, but my wife thinks my sister-in-law has a crush on me, but I don't believe that's true. I don't believe it's true because all she's heard about is a rumor her cousin told her about. We didn't discuss this with her sister or confirm this being true, besides what some people have told her. I don't want to ignore her feelings, but I also think she shouldn't damage her relationship with her sister because of rumors. You are the idiot because, wow, the detail that the sister might be into you is kind of important, dude. It changes the entire complexion of the interchange, especially with you knowing that she might be into you. Very much not cool now, and a bit shady. You tried to hide it. Oh, and he didn't think it was an important detail, in his own words. He left out a very important key detail. His wife believes his sister has a crush on him. He essentially just told someone who his wife probably knows way better than him, and who she believes holds romantic feelings for him, that he loves her. Even if it's platonic on his end, doesn't mean that it was interpreted as such on sister-in-law's end, as evidenced by the huge reaction wife and her entire family had.